So in this video, I wanted to touch on some of the biggest mistakes that people are doing on the spiritual path, on the path to manifestation, and get into some real specifics about the chakras, the energy centers that are running in the body, because they play into a major part of your spiritual awakening to your higher faculties and the gifts that you have. And I'm going to specifically touch on the third eye, which is a very, very popular chakra that people are working on to open up so that they can get more spiritual awareness. But like I began, there are some major mistakes that people are doing and that is being taught out there by many spiritual teachers, and it's causing a lot of damage, it's causing a lot of harm, and it's one of the reasons why the planet looks the way that it does, because it is facilitating massively dangerous imbalances in a lot of individuals. Hello, my name's Zimran, and I am a spiritual teacher. I'm a breakthrough specialist, transformation coach, and I help people realize who they truly are and who they were born to be, and provide them with the single most powerful tools to remove all the non-love, all the programming, all the conditioning, and all the limitations that are holding them back from being and becoming all that they truly are and all that they were born to be. Now, I've trained in ashrams, I've spent time with spiritual masters, I have worked with shaman, healers, hypnotists, NLP practitioners, biohackers, all sorts of different modalities over the past 30 plus years of my life that I have been in intensive spiritual training. I have traveled the world over many times in order to do that, and in order to immerse myself in what I consider to be the single most important endeavor that any human being can ever do, and that is to go within and, like I said, remove all the non-love and all the things that are in the way of you living your best possible life and becoming all that you're able to become and that you were destined to become on this planet. So what is the big mistakes? What are people and teachers out there teaching people to do that is really dangerous and, quite frankly, backwards and harmful, and one of the reasons why this world is so out of balance in the first place and the priorities are skewed? So let me talk about the chakras, okay? We have 7 primary chakras on our bodies. If you don't know what the chakras are, you can look it up, you can Google it. We have 7 primary chakras, and they are energy centers in the body. We have the base chakra down in the groin area. Then we have our second chakra, which is just below our navel. And then we have our third chakra, which is just below our rib cage, where our rib cage ends, a few inches below that. about here. Then we have our heart chakra. We have our throat chakra. We have our third eye. And then we have our crown chakra, which is up the top. Now, really, really important to understand that there's a hierarchy to these chakras. And they actually coincide with the Kundalini. And if you don't know what the Kundalini is, it's terminology for one of the single most powerful energies in the physical body, which starts in the base of your spine and it shoots up your spine, and you could have amazingly profound and powerful experience of that Kundalini coming up through your body. And it can also be extremely dangerous. I've heard of people that have awakened their Kundalini prematurely and literally burnt their organs, their insides, and in some cases became incapacitated in 4 months as they had to heal their body due to awakening that Kundalini energy. Now, that Kundalini energy comes from the spine and goes up through the spine, up, out your crown. It actually coincides with each of those 7 chakras. Now, chakras are just energy centers. They're areas of the body that have a heightened vortex of energy that connects you to the spiritual realms. It's the easiest way to explain it. And we actually have hundreds of chakras in our bodies, and a lot of them coincide with our acupuncture and acupressure points and different meridians and energy centers in the body, because chakras are quite literally the energy centers of the body. Now, in my spiritual training, I have gone through a lot of clearing with my chakras. And I remember, as an example, I remember when my base chakra got cleared and got opened up properly. So I had a lot of sexual trauma and a lot of stuff down there that was just not kosher, and it was really, really blocked. And I remember when that blew open, and it just exploded right out of me. And I just started wailing and crying as all the sexual trauma and all the abuse and all the non-love and all of the stuff that I took on sexually, because the base chakra is tied to the sexual energies. And it just was mind-blowing. It was mind-blowing and extremely transformational. My second chakra, my third chakras, always had problems with those. Always had problems. Some cases, my second chakra would seize up and I would be in intense pain, like sharp, sharp pain, as if someone was almost stabbing me with a knife in my second chakra as I was awakening into my full power. And there was just parts of me, my resistance, my fear, and areas that still hadn't let go of certain traumas and certain belief systems and limitations that were holding me back. And it was resisting, right? It was resisting. And so I actually had to work with a psychic healer for a number of months in order to clear that out. And throughout my training, there would be times when it would seize up and it would get blocked and cause me pain. Same thing with my third, not as bad. But my heart chakra was the biggest one. And it was the one that I actually opened up and burst open before any of my other chakras ever came to open up. And this happened to me about 30 years ago now. I was in Central Australia in Uluru. I was doing my Reiki training at the time. I'm actually a Reiki master, a Reiki teacher, and I know all sorts of different branches of Reiki, which is a healing type modality. Now, this is not about Reiki, but I was in Central Australia, and there was a lot of crazy stuff that happened in Central Australia, in Uluru in Australia, where I was and went there for about a week, 7 or 8 days. And part of it was the Reiki training. Part of it was also I had some extraterrestrial experiences, and we also did this massive ceremony and working on fixing the Earth's energy grid at the same time during that very, very powerful and very synchronicity-filled week that I had there. I've done a lot of crazy stuff, had a lot of crazy experiences. Now, when my heart chakra blew open during that week, it quite literally felt like someone grabbed a gun at point blank and shot me in the chest. It was so painful. It was so intense that I was just shocked. I was just stunned. It was, as I said, painful, but in some ways it wasn't either. It's sort of really, really difficult to explain, but it was extremely painful, yet at the same time it wasn't. Now, why am I even sharing these extreme examples of chakras truly opening up, number one, and number two, of some of the difficulties that I had with my chakras, okay, that actually translated into my training later on? I'll tell you why. And this is the key. There is a hierarchy with each of these energy centers, these chakras. The base being the lowest. As a matter of fact, the bottom 3 chakras are all and mostly to do with anchoring you to the earth, into this body. The lower 3 chakras hold a lot of the abuse and the trauma as far as energetically that you've received in your life, along with the various organs and cells where that cellular memory of that abuse and that trauma took place. Now, every single human being is and has been traumatized. Even if you look at just the birthing process alone, conventional birthing process, it's one of the most traumatic experiences that a child can go through. So you already come into this planet abused and traumatized. Now, I say abuse and trauma to tag one particular term, non-love. Any single time that you receive non-love or negative energies, lower vibrational frequencies, then you are being abused and you are being traumatized, especially if you allow it into you and it impacts you and affects you in a negative way. Most people are not capable of deflecting that energy, especially as a child, where you're the most susceptible from ages 0 through 7. Important to understand that. My heart chakra blew open before my lower chakras were healed and blown open and had been worked on. Now, You have your throat chakra, you have your third eye, you have your crown chakra as well. These other chakras. Throat chakra represents communication, but it represents divine communication. It represents your true voice. Your third eye represents seeing the truth and reality for what it truly is, and being able to tap into, under certain conditions, higher dimensional truth and wisdom. It's not about fortune telling. It's not even about manifestation. It's about seeing the truth. The crown chakra is your access to the divine. It's your spiritual connection. It's where the divine comes through and anchors itself through all of your 7 chakras and into the earth. When there's blocks, you're not connected to the earth. You're not grounded. You're disconnected. No matter how much energy comes in through the top, no matter how much you open up your third eye, no matter how much you do any of this work, if any of these are not functioning, you are out of balance. And no offense, you are potentially entrapped and not actually accessing what it is that you think that you might be accessing by opening up your third eye in particular. Now, why am I ragging on the third eye? Because if you actually look online, you look at all the different manifestation techniques out there, you look at all the videos, everyone's focusing on opening up their third eye because they have this distorted viewpoint that the third eye is going to give them what they want. And all it's going to do is feed the illusion when these other chakras are not open. In particular, the heart chakra. Without the heart chakra being open, the rest of these are a mess and will be mitigated, and you don't even know what it is you're truly tapping into. It's the same with the lower chakras. Speaking for myself, having opened up many of my chakras, but not having dealt with a lot of my second and third chakras at the time that I hadn't. It didn't matter how much access I had to my higher faculties. I was still messed up. I was still being run by lower vibrational energies, and I didn't have access to the full power of what these chakras symbolize. I didn't have access to my true voice, no matter what, no matter how open and how clear my throat chakra was. It didn't matter when all of these weren't functioning properly. Are you starting to see what I'm saying? This is serious, like really serious stuff. You don't know what you're messing with when you start putting all of your emphasis just on your third eye, or when you're putting all of your emphasis on any one aspect of self. Your only job, if you want to attain all that you truly are, and you want to heal, and you want to become quite literally the master of your reality, self-mastery, right? If you want to attain the heights of spirituality, then all you need to focus on is removing all the non-love inside of you, all the conditions, all the programming, and work on healing and transforming and transmuting every single aspect of yourself that is not of that. Now, do you notice that when I'm doing this and when I'm saying it, nowhere did I say, focus on your heart. Nowhere did I say, focus on your base chakra. Nowhere did I say, focus on your throat chakra. Nowhere did I say, focus on your third eye. This whole calcification terminology is the biggest load of bullshit I've ever heard. Okay? And I'm just saying it as it is. That calcification, or it being blocked, it's just a fancy term some person came up with, and now it's just become rampant. Oh, you got to decalcify your third eye. No, you don't. Focus on becoming the best possible human being that you can be. Realize who you truly are. Remove all the conditions and all the programming, and all of this will open up on its own when you are ready and when it is necessary. Being self-aware is being aware of where your issues lie and what it is that you need to be working on in any given moment that is being triggered by the outer world. It's why we're actually here. It's a natural healing mechanism to get triggered. As a matter of fact, you are manufacturing all the circumstances and all the situations in your life in order to get triggered, so that you can then be aware of what's coming up for you and realize, oh, I feel like crap today, or I feel depressed right now, or I feel like I hate myself right now, or I feel like I'm not good enough right now. And rather than trying to remove the triggers, which is what a lot of the healing modalities do out there, which does nothing to really heal the source of the problem or to deal with and give expression to the emotion that is trapped in your body, the energy in motion. So what do you think's going to happen? You're going to perpetuate the same problem over and over and over again. And what's your soul going to do? It's going to bring more circumstances in your life to trigger it again. And the more you play this game of removing triggers, the bigger the problem's going to get in the long run. Yes, maybe in the short term, you'll get through your day. Maybe you'll attain a certain level of success and feel happier. But mark my words, the more that you suppress and repress what's really going on, and the more subterranean it gets, the worse it's going to get for you at some point in your life. Mark my words. We see it all around us, all these mysterious illnesses. It's not just the pollution in our foods. It's not just your brain and how you interpret your reality. All of those are symptoms of the emotional trauma and the emotions that you don't want to feel. None of us do. Why? Because when we have to process and feel our negative emotions, they're negative. You feel like crap. And it then triggers the mental reaction. A lot of people think that it's the mental thoughts that are triggering the emotions. No. The emotion had to be inside of you in order to trigger the self-negative thoughts. It's the biggest backwards aspect of psychology and the healing process. Your natural state is unconditional love. If you're able to feel, like genuinely feel from inside of you, any aspect of non-love that was introduced into your ecosystem and you've been holding onto it for most of your life, and we have lived our lives and reinforced all these negative belief systems that we have taken on due to the abuse and the trauma, the non-love that we have experienced. So what I say, you want to manifest your dreams, you want to take your life to the highest possible place that you can, absolute highest. Then don't focus on your third eye. And honestly, a lot of the manifestation techniques are placebo. And people get really irate when I say that. A lot of it's placebo. The reason being is that you already are God. You already are creating your reality. Everything you have in your life, you created. Everything that you don't have in your life, you didn't want or didn't believe that you could have, or you have things in the way of you being able to create those or manifest those into your life. So the highest place to go is to remove all the cobwebs and all the clutter and all the stuff that's in the way, and becoming all that you are, and that will start manifesting and creating what it is that you truly, truly desire in the first place. And it's nothing in the material plane. Yes, the material plane, the physical world, will reflect that to you, and you will manifest and create whatever it is that you need to, and that is a part of the essence of who you truly are, that will truly make you happy, truly make you fulfilled, truly bring you to that place of unconditional love and peace for yourself and for everything in your whole entire reality. But that is what everyone is seeking. That is what everyone wants. On an unconscious level, every single action that people take on this planet, on an unconscious level, at the root cause, if you were to go layer upon layer upon layer upon layer upon, why do people do what they do? They are doing it because they want to feel and be loved unconditionally. Why? Because it's your natural state. It's your natural state. All the vacations, all the money, all the success, all the fame. You know why it's never enough? For the people that have a lot of that stuff? Because they're not fulfilled on the inside. That's why it's never enough. A lot of people would say, well, but I'm just driven. I want to just do more and more and more. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's a lot more ego, a lot more vanity, a lot more look at me, a lot more approval. There's a lot more validation. There's a lot more distortions behind it all than people are willing to admit, willing to acknowledge, or willing to even see. As far as I'm concerned, I want it all. I am all of it. And when I am all of it, and I live from that place, then I can love it all. And then everything that makes me all that I am will and is being made manifest in my life, and nothing owns me. See where I'm coming from? Whatever you think you own, owns you. Very, very, very powerful statements. The world is changing. What used to work is no longer going to work. There is a massive rug pull that is taking place and has been taking place for quite a long time, but it's accelerating at such a rapid rate that if you don't start choosing love over non-love at all costs, and I'm talking about unconditional love, then you're in for a very rude awakening. That is the ultimate form of empowerment. It is the ultimate way in which you are able to not only protect yourself from what is happening out in the world, but it's restoring yourself to your true essence and to where the planet is heading as far as consciousness is concerned. The new age that is upon us is the age of love. So if you don't align with love, then guess what? You're going to be riddled with lower vibrational energies. You're going to create more lower vibrational circumstances and situations in your life. And if you're in victim about it, then that's going to make it even more difficult. And that all disempowers you from the ultimate power that resides within you, which is your divinity, your connection to oneness, to the quantum field, to unconditional love, to your God self. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this. Please, please, please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you can to help me get this message out into the world. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Of course, if you don't agree with me or you didn't find it valuable, there's other people you can listen to, I'm sure. So anyway, I'm grateful, I'm blessed, and until next time.